Time did you stay up till last night, Tim?
9.
It was a relatively slow, quiet night.
We had dinner here, and then we went home. I was done. I was tired.
It's a long day.
Really long day.
Yeah.
Why are you playing? What are you doing? What are you doing, you silly widget? Holy sh! Huh? What the hell's up here? It's a goat. Hey, you got new pictures.
Yeah, it's Doug's slideshow.
That's a great.
So you put Doug? Is that a picture of Doug?
No, he said he was going to talk
Based on one of my topics, it's definitely going to be the goat. I spent a lot of time with them.
Are we on?
You're live.
Nice. It's Tim Byrne. Tim Byrne almost live down at PM Expo. Last day. It's Friday. Who's tired?
I'm tired.
Megan. We're live now on Facebook. What's your husband's name or boyfriend? Whichever. Both? Husband only. Jason, and the boyfriend's name?
Don't have one.
Robert. Okay. Jason, don't listen to this. Megan was flipping through the divorce papers earlier today. We went over them. Everything seems to be in order. You're getting nothing. You're getting raped and pillaged like all men do in the Ontario family court system. You'll be left with your underwear. That's it.
She's blushing a lot, Tim.
We, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin the goat is no longer with us. It died overnight. Supposedly, it choked on its own urine and feces inside its cage.
That's awful.
Tim, that is awful.
We got told we got told yesterday that it was inappropriate to have a goat here stand in its own urine. I said it's living in the lap of luxury in 27 degrees. Sunshine, water, fresh bottled water every 15 minutes.
Yet there were still people that were not happy with that. They were very upset
They
about
were
it.
very, very upset.
I couldn't understand it. Like, it's like you've never been to a farm to see how a goat actually lives.
Okay, yeah, that goat was living in
Large.
paradise. It was a fresh carrot every 15 minutes, fresh bottled
if
water.
not quicker.
new bedding every day.
And more attention than he probably ever had in his whole life.
Brand new tarp every day to sit in.
Yep.
At the farm, it's once a 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 days. Like
Yeah.
it's never, you don't change. The bigger the pen, you don't change it.
And when I went over to visit his farm,
Did you see that?
I did see it, and you know what? It's pretty cold where he lives.
It's minus 10 in there.
Yeah,
It's
no.
actually colder in there than it
It's
is
outside.
Yeah,
Absolutely, it was.
You're freezing your knickers off outside. Doug Beller, you're with Byrne On Demand, and you've been working the show all week with me, and you're new with Byrne On Demand.
I am.
But you're definitely not new in the industry.
I've been around for a little while. It's my second time around with you, Tim.
It is your second time, and you and I have known each other for
A long time. 30 years at least.
30 years, sure, right?
Very close, yeah.
I mean, you go back to my dad's time with Ray Byrne and Ray
Wynn. Ray Wynn, and then Byrne On Demand. Byrne Partners, that's right.
Back then. Byrne Partners. And you were with Ray a long time. You were with Abtec a long time. You were with Wilcox?
Wilcox for a little while, yep. And then I was with JZAC for 3 years. I had my own company. Didn't work out, but, had to try it.
Yeah, entrepreneurship's a weird...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I tip my hat to the successful entrepreneurs. 'Cause it's a big job.
It's
a
far,
big job.
It's far in your head, and being in business for yourself, it's far more overwhelming than what they make it look.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to make.
No, you're right. You're
trying
right.
to articulate that because I am one of those kooks, but I know that people have said to me, "You got it made. You're living the life." That's wow.
I have no idea the pressures you have every day to make sure that paychecks come in, that checks come in and paychecks go out to every one of your employees. That's paying all your expenditures. It's a tough go, and it's a pressure.
And making sure your customers pay.
Yeah, and your family's getting fed, and they're taken care of.
And you still have time for your wife.
It's a big job. It's an incredible job. It's the pressure people do not realize.
And sleep at night and balance. It's funny, I have guys come up to me, and I'm worried about a recession in 2019, 2020.
You have mentioned that, yes.
And I have staff, management staff who come up to me and say, we need to buy another boom, or we need to buy 3 more trucks, and I'm always like, hold out, ride the wave, or they'll go, we need to hire more staff. I don't like laying off people, by the way.
No.
And I actually would rather pay overtime to staff than lay off. I know it sounds like an oxymoron for most business guys, because you go, no overtime, no overtime. We're looking at cameras here.
Yeah.
No overtime, no overtime. I'm actually okay with it. Everybody gets to make a little. Listen, when you're busy, you make hay when the sun shines.
That's right. Try to keep it together when it's not so busy.
Okay, so that's huge, right?
It's a big job.
I'm gonna let you know when back in 2010, when I got divorced and my son died and my brother Michael took off and went to work for E1. I had spent 5 years up to that point, not 20, 22 years up to that point with Stadia, and I made sure I had money tucked aside when I left, because it was also the beginning of the end of a recession in 2010. Mm-hmm. So 2008, 2009, it all fucking fell apart in 2010.
So you put money away during the recession.
I knew in 2007 it was coming. I started tucking money away. I had to make sure that, and then when I left the company tailspinned. So not only did I leave after my son passed away, I left for 2.5, 3 years. My
company went downhill slightly. Because
not slightly. My brother Michael was also on the go get him, kill him, and got, by the way, good or bad intentions, he was doing it because he needed to survive too.
Absolutely.
Started a business, push. Was there a bit of revenge in there to push me? Absolutely. And that, by the way, good sport. I think it's a human. I think revenge is human. I think everybody needs to have a moral compass to decide how they're going to
Everybody has a little bit of an inside them, I believe.
Don't we all?
A little bit, for
just
sure.
Make sure you don't, listen, at the end of the day, don't act on it, because you're going to, revenge is a dirty game that if you're going to dig one grave.
You're going to hurt somebody every time.
If you're going to dig one grave, dig two.
Yeah.
You're going to go down with it eventually, right?
Yeah. You don't need to be bad-mouthing or meaning to anybody in life. It's not worth it.
Midway through my 2 years off, trying to figure out who I was, I had 3 technicians' dads call me.
3 technicians' dads?
Dads.
Wow.
Actually, one of them still works for me. I don't think I ever told him that his father, I'm not going to mention now, but I don't think I ever told him that his father called me.
Only a father can understand it.
3 fathers called me. They didn't call me to have empathy for the death of my son. When I had left, I told my CFO at the time, keep everybody paid for 40 hours a week. Do not let anybody go. Use all the cash reserves to pay the payroll. Now, I did this in silence. This wasn't broadcasted to the staff. I didn't say shit to anybody.
But I'm sure they were starting to get worried after you'd been gone a while, and they can staff can see the decline in business right away before anybody, right?
And remember, Michael Byrne, who was running E1, literally came and raped and pillaged staff. Come with me. I am the new beginning of the time. I'm better. I got it. So staff left, right? Because I left, people got scared. Then he said, my doors are open, and we're excited and new and fancy and blah blah blah. People ran.
And he's there for oversight, and you weren't for oversight,
right? Yeah. Totally. So, but about 20 months into my absence, I had 3 dads call me, all spontaneously, like not planned, just in the evening, and they call up and they go, I'm Jim. Jim was one of them, father, and I'm Connor's dad. And I go, hi, how are you?
What can I help you with?
Like really weird, those are weird phone calls, right?
I've never had a staff member's parent,
right?
parent of any kind
call you, right? So I get a call, and he goes, I want to thank you so much for everything you've done this last 2 years. And I was like, pardon? He goes, I know that nobody noticed it, but I know you're not there, and I know the company's in a tailspin. And I'm like, pardon? He goes, guys are going home early.
Never went home early before.
But they aren't going with less of a paycheck. And he said, you're still paying everybody. And I said, I'm not sure how you're doing that. But he said, and I'm not sure if anybody else is noticing it, but my son's paycheck, my son's job, everybody's still working, and I know you're having a problem. Now, ironically, his dad is retired now. His dad was a property manager and said, I'm going to make sure you guys get whatever work I have.
To help you out to get everything back to normal.
To make sure it stays. But he said, I'm really impressed you did that. I had 3 of those phone calls.
That's amazing.
Okay, really weird, right?
Yeah.
Not from the guys. I never heard it from the guys. By the way, I never broadcasted in the office that I was in.
Putting the reserves away, using the reserves.
Yeah, and people say buy a building, go do this, move the money, get ready for retirement. And I, honestly, by 2014, we had blown so much money that my accountants called and said, okay, you need to go back to work.
Or else we're going to be out of business.
It's all going to end. And you can only pay everybody to do nothing
so long,
and you have to go back to work. But 2013, he said, go back to work. You have had, and you know my family really well.
Very well.
Okay. Why did you make the choice to come back?
Well, I've been in the glass business a long, long time.
Yes, you have.
And I honestly had been looking for something outside of the glass industry. When you contacted me, I had honestly been in contact with a couple facility management companies. I thought with my experience, the people I know in the industry, and at my age, it was time for a change. I really did. I'm really excited about the facility side of it. I'm not going out hounding for glass work or door work every day. It's a completely different feel. It's totally reinvigorated me in thinking of doing sales again. This show has been incredible. I've got some great leads at this show. This goat is amazing. I've never, ever seen anything marketing-wise as simple and as effective as this had been.
It was probably one of the cheapest.
You could build a $10,000 booth, and you would not get half the traffic that we had on the first day.
Yep, you're right.
You know?
I totally agree. It's weird, right?
Yeah, and I was trying to explain to the young guys. Like, I've been to hundreds of these things.
Honestly, how many shows have you done? Because AbTech wasn't a big show company.
No, we would have done smaller shows, but I would go to every show.
Right.
I went to the national shows for Prism, the local ones, even without having a booth, but being involved in it at all times and seeing customers at every one of those events and trade shows and what have you. But I've never seen an animal inside a trade show.
Business to business.
A business trade show. And the response from we had people lined up. Had people lined up to take photos, to pet the goat, to feed the goat. And he is a good-looking goat. Like, he was a great goat.
But it's your second round with us.
It is.
So why'd you choose? Alex is dancing. Why'd you choose the second round?
Again, I'm not sure I would have go back to the glass side of it, but because of the opportunity to go into the facility side, it was more exciting to me, and I was honestly ready for a change.
But you left us and on your own accord, and came back on your own accord. I mean, not that I didn't contact you both times, but it's your choice. You made that decision.
Yeah.
Most people don't go back to old employers.
Well, you know what, Tim? When we parted ways, it wasn't anything negative. We never had any bad words. I never thought negative of you in any way. So to come back really wasn't that big of a decision. It made it a lot easier being on the facility side, I'll tell you, than going back to the glass side.
But you knew what you were buying.
I knew what I was getting.
What you were buying, what you were signing up for.
I knew what I was getting.
Does that make? Sorry, because I'll tell
it's
you.
Okay.
70, and to articulate that, I mean, I promote people to leave all the time. Not in a bad spirit.
Not in a negative way.
Not in a bad spirit.
If they have a better offer or something they want to pursue,
something that makes them happy. Something that makes them happy.
Absolutely.
Even Janice Wynn, who worked with us for 15, 16 years, when she told me she wanted to leave and become a real estate agent, she took a whole year to leave our organization. I'm totally okay with people leaving.
Yep. So she was going to school.
Yeah,
while
she was working for us, and said that when I graduate and finish getting my license, I'm going to take off and go do it. But she spent a whole year, quote unquote, leaving, which made this thing kind of funny, surreal. And I tell all my staff, you leave whenever you want.
Yep.
Go find your pursuit of happiness. I'm not responsible for your happiness, you are. And if something else is going to make you happy, I think you need to go chase it down, kill it, make it, do it, and don't let me stop you. Nor be ashamed, embarrassed, and you don't have to be angry to break up with me.
No. Leaving on anger terms with anybody is never the best way to do things.
Just because you're not happy doesn't mean you have to hate.
No.
That
no.
makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Sense, right?
Hate's a big word. And what did you think after you called me and I said, yeah, I'd be interested in that?
Only because we have a lot of people that ask to come back. But not ask, a lot of people that re-engage us to come back, not ask, but or renegotiate to come back or whatever. I wasn't surprised. You're a very kind, caring man. You have a natural, good soul, and your moral compass is
absolutely.
Your moral compass is balanced. You stay within the rhubarb.
I try to. I've been married a long time to a good woman. That makes that happen. Eh?
Absolutely, right? No, I got that.
It does.
So when you and I started talking again, I mean, just your, at the end of the day, I spend more time hiring people that care than I do skill. I don't think I really give a shit about your experience.
Yeah.
I give a shit because I knew who you were.
Good.
Right?
It makes sense.
As a character.
You know me a long time.
I'd rather hire somebody with good character than hire with somebody with great skill and no character. Now, if I get great skill and character,
that's the key.
Right, and then you're
right.
But the great skill side of anybody, I'll be honest, is irrelevant. I was going to say it's quasi, but no, it's totally irrelevant because you can teach anybody.
You can teach the skills.
You look at the young boys we have here today.
Very good sales guys, I'll tell you. They're up and comers.
Andy and Dylan, Alex
awesome.
Byrne,
rock stars.
They are rock stars,
they are.
and because they care. Because they give a shit. It's that actually.
You can see it inside. The way they carry themselves every day, the way they talk to people, the way they represent your company, even not at this trade show. They're very good salespeople.
When you have care, you have the ability to learn emotional and intellectual maturity.
Absolutely.
Right? Critical thinking. You have that ability to learn critical thinking when you care. The minute you don't care, you can't critically think anymore. You can't intellectually have intellectual curiosity when you don't care.
You have to have compassion and empathy inside you.
Inquisitiveness. As soon as you care, all those other things click into place.
Absolutely.
Is this show, out of all the shows you've been to, is this show like good, bad, better, worse, score out of 10, best show, top 10 shows, top 5?
Well, with the traffic we had,
sure.
I would say #1 show I've ever been to. It was the simplest marketing thing I've ever seen. The contacts that we've made here, myself and my fellow colleagues, we're going to land some work out of this show. If we follow up with it the way we're supposed to, and we need to make sure that they do that. Maybe not next week when everyone's getting 1,000 emails. Maybe the week after.
It's really hard to get people to follow up. Yeah.
We have had this conversation, and
you agree?
I do agree. It's a trained process that you have to go through.
Really disciplined to do it.
You have to be disciplined. You have to lay it out and then follow it up.
It's I've often, because the guys are young, I tell them follow up is like meeting a girl on a Saturday night at a bar.
Yeah.
And she hands you the phone number, right? She goes, "Here's my phone number. Call me." And you get this phone number and you don't call it for 4 weeks.
You've lost that.
There's no way.
Who are you? What bar are we at?
Yeah, who are you? What are you talking about? I'm already married, or whatever. I'm engaged now. I've got a boyfriend.
Yeah, you missed the shot.
I think when you pick up somebody's business card or you get somebody's phone number and you wait 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Yeah, no, it's too long.
Or you text them randomly or email them randomly. So you email them on Monday. You're right. I think that is the most impersonal thing you could possibly do with somebody who
you're trying to get business from and build a relationship with.
Well, and the funny thing, right, you're trying to make a relationship with them, and they took the dignity and the trust to hand you a business card, hoping that you're not going to abuse the shit out of it.
Absolutely, and they don't want you to abuse it. Like we had lots of people on the show. I asked them, "You don't mind if I scan?" We had talked about business. You mind if I scan? You know what? I don't want all the emails. I said, "Listen, I'm not going to email you until the week after next. I can tell you that." Because I know next week you're just going to sit and delete emails from this show.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, and I tell the staff all this all the time, and I chewed people out in my office for this, that an email is only a receipt of a conversation you've already completed.
Absolutely.
And it should, when I go to a restaurant, I've never had the waiter or waitress hand me the bill first and then start to talk to me.
It's always better to have the conversation, live talk, and then send an email out, and then follow it up after.
Yeah, I don't like people, when you email me, my email says, "I'm not going to read this, please call me." Because if it's really, really, really important, oh, look at all your cards. If it's really, really, really important, you should call anyway.
Yeah.
And by the way, I think that when you reach out to clients, it should be it feels like you devaluated yourself when you send an email. I feel like you're making yourself not important because you've lined yourself up with all the other commonalities of business.
Yes, everyone does it.
Do I don't email my friends. When's the last time you emailed your best friend?
No.
Okay. So
we'll text to see if they're free, and then we call.
right. Yeah.
That's it.
You're around, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not texting your best friends, you probably shouldn't be texting your best clients.
I agree with your theory. I believe your theory is going to fall further and further from the realm of reality with the newer generation coming up that would rather text.
So what I do? So let's talk social.
And I mean overall in society.
Let's talk social media for a second. You're right. So I think that social media is. I think that we haven't really seen we're only in the beginning of a technological revolution where we haven't seen what we're about to see. We can't even predict what we're about to predict. We talk about the millennials, people under 30 years of age that are texting and interacting with social media more than interacting like we are right now.
Absolutely.
Ironically, though, that we're on YouTube right now because it's a much easier way for your client base to get to know you in mass.
Absolutely.
This is much better than sending out a mass email.
Oh, I would agree with that. I would agree with that 100%.
Totally. You could either send out an email that says, hey, I'm really glad I saw you at the show. Hope we can talk soon, blah, 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 blah. Or you can sit here and people can really figure out who you are, what you are, understand your personality, your demeanor, your stature, your humor, and really make a decision whether they're like-minded with you and whether they want to engage you.
So how long in the future do you see until we're sitting, instead of having an email, we're sitting in front of our computer doing a video recording, and then you're sending that out to a customer versus just typing it in?
So what I see coming very shortly, so Stadia and Byrne do this technology called Wendy, and Wendy, all the quotes are photo-driven. So it's kind of like a Wayfair, and it's really unique to...
It's pretty neat, actually.
Unique to the construction business. So you can actually see the ladder we use, the drill we use, the closure we install, the piece of glass. You can see pictures of every single line item.
That must have been a lot of work putting that together.
Like Wayfair, right? Like Amazon.
Yeah.
And we still send it in the form of a PDF, which is still really old-fashioned. PDFs are way by the wayside, but a lot of clients want PDFs, so that's okay. Wayfair doesn't make a PDF. When you get a Wayfair bill, you just see all the icons and the lineups all going all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to see an attached PDF.
Yeah.
It's funny, we have clients that tell me, we only accept PDFs. And I feel like saying, and you are so 2007. PDFs are so old technology. Wayfair, Amazon, PayPal, none of these companies use PDF receipts. Nobody. It comes in the body of the email. There's a reason why, I'm digressing, but I'm going to explain why they don't use PDFs. The storage of a PDF
takes up a lot of space, I bet.
Right. And the storage of an email takes up a lot of space.
Absolutely.
So they blended the two together, and it takes up half the space. And you go, well, it isn't that much, Tim. Every IT guy will text me and type me on the thing and say, it is when you're talking about hundreds of millions of transactions.
If you're an Amazon company, that's a lot of space, a lot of data area.
So you do the expense with Stadia or Byrne on Demand. The expense was very little the first year. RevCan says, though, in the IRS, that you got to keep 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 7 years later, you're talking about 15, 20, just for our little business, 15, 20,000 a year for our little businesses to have the storage for 7 years worth of data. Can you only imagine an American Express, an Amazon, a Wayfair?
They're going to have their own facilities just to store their stuff.
Millions and millions of dollars of holding it in the cloud.
Yep.
Storage. They just can't afford it, so they cut out the two. And it's only a matter of time. And the only reason they're doing it, the only reason they're not converting now is because they gain the ability to stall payment. So the reason why
explain that to me, would you?
Well, the reason why companies want you to, we have 2 or 3 of our clients that want us to mail their invoices to them.
Oh, yeah.
They want to stall payment. We have 3 or 4 of our clients that only want PDFs because they want to stall payment.
Yeah, I got you.
They have to print it out, and I have clients say, we'll print it out. I'm like, what the? Why would you print out? By the way,
anything.
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 The closest thing we have to paper at Byrne on Demand is a sticky note.
And it's recycled paper, I think.
Yeah, 100% recycled paper. But we don't print out invoices. Our vendors, they send us bills, and we're like, do not send me in mail. You email that to me.
I haven't touched a piece of paper since I started working at Byrne.
No.
Not one.
No, and you wait, when Wendy switches over in January 1st, you'll be like, I will never see a piece of paper. I won't even look at my email because Wendy manages the emails. You do your email inside
Through
Wendy,
Wendy.
so it stores the email related to the
job,
Wendy number, the job number,
project,
into that
whatever.
job. So going back to technology, so customers don't want PDFs because it helps them create bureaucracy. The problem really being is that accounts payable, accounts receivables, administrative jobs inside of offices are dying.
Yep.
They're going to disappear.
Once those PDFs are done with, those people won't be needed. It'll go directly into their system. It'll be done.
Stadia and Byrne come January. The technicians will be billing from site. We're going to have a real problem because what's going to happen now is that we don't expect our technicians to send work orders first and then the bill. We're going to go right to bill.
Well, you're going to save a big step there.
Holy shit. Oh, and
Yeah,
right
incredible.
to bill. And we're a small company, so we use QuickBooks. And not only are we going to be able to invoice directly to our client, we're going to upload it into QuickBooks immediately.
Yeah.
Even if the technicians make a 10% error, it is still a 10% savings on the administrative portion of that.
Yep.
And what I'd like to do is convert all my accounting people. I don't want to get rid of anybody.
No.
I want to
Convert them to a different field.
I want to convert them all to either IT specialists, network specialists, or I want to put them on the road and let them sell, let them become technicians, let them become field consultants. Alex Byrne, in the last 2 months, her job is converted from working inside the service center, taking service calls and uploading administrative paperwork, to being on site training technicians on technology.
Yeah,
How to
that's
use
amazing.
How to
eh?
use a smartphone better. I don't think jobs are going to disappear in the new economy. I think jobs are going to be created. The problem
There definitely is people have to be trained for
the
those new
problem
jobs.
is people are going to be scared of the change.
Absolutely. Well, watching Alex put all this together here,
Totally right.
like, I was very impressed. Like, she's a wizard at it. She's down there on her
Okay,
hands
so
and knees with a skirt on, and she's ripping wires, putting them together.
Okay, so I'm going to say that you're not a wizard. You know what I'm going to tell you? No, sir.
You're learning.
You're not stupid either. You care, which pushes you, and of course, because I'm an asshole.
He doesn't push you, though.
No, he physically.
Internal caring pushes you to critically think, and you will not fail. When you care, you won't fail. When you care, actually, you don't give a fuck that you failed. You're going to get up, wipe off the dirt off your knees, and go again. That's what happens when you care. That's how you get the Wayne Gretzky's, the Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
That's how you get superstars, is people that get up from not, oh my God, I fell, who can I blame? Not, oh my God, I fell, it must be the government's fault, or my parents, or I got some stupid blue ribbon, because I just participated. You get up and go, I made a mistake, I screwed up, and I'm going to try again. And I'm not going to give it that little train that could and all that shit. It's really relative to young people, and more young people need to stop and go, I don't want the blue ribbon, I want to win. It's a real change. That gave me goosebumps because it's a real change in society's thinking. We've had 20 years of handing our kids blue ribbons.
Telling them they're great, getting a trophy for no
Oh my
reason
God,
at
for
all.
nothing.
For no reason at all, kids could get
You
trophies.
need your kid to fall on the ground, fail, and fuck up, and stand up and say, I want to try it again.
Yeah,
It's like learning how to ride a bike.
absolutely. You got to
Take the
get
damn-
up and do it again.
Take the damn training wheels off and fall. Trust me, you only do it once. Okay, so go back to social media and what we were talking about. We were talking about billing. And
Yep.
so I think that the art of communication is still there. I think what people are lacking is to understand that there is a evolution to a relationship, and you need to be consciously aware of that evolution. And I'll give you some examples. Elon Musk, he doesn't have email.
At all?
No, zero. So
You pick up a phone and call someone, that's it.
So you'll learn that your closest relationships are by phone.
Absolutely.
Your next closest relationships are by text message. In amongst that is applications like WhatsApp, and what's the Apple one? iMessage. So I use WhatsApp.
Well, next to personal. Personal is the best one.
My family talks by WhatsApp in a group.
Nice.
They're all connected.
Yeah.
The same way we do with everybody
with
else.
work.
Yes. All my kids and everybody. My mom.
I love your mom.
My
on the phone.
77-year-old mother is in it, and by the way, she has no idea how to type, so she constantly does these voice recordings.
You know what? My mother-in-law just learned that, and she had never texted until she learned how to use the voice recognition button. And it was great. We were at my brother-in-law's for dinner.
She's talking to the
and
phone.
she's talking to her phone. And I'm looking at her and going, Grace, what are you doing? I just learned how to do this. I'm texting my granddaughter.
I love that.
It was
You, right?
82 years old.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I think that WhatsApp and text messaging becomes your second tier.
Yeah.
And third tier is email. You know.
I truly text
email,
friends.
Facebook, all that stuff.
I
is
truly
third tier.
text friends way more than I text customers. I do text customers an awful lot, but the ones I have relationships with, not new ones, I would probably not text too many new ones right off the bat.
Yeah, and so for salespeople that can they hear us? They can't hear a thing. Nah, they can't hear shit. On Instagram, you can't hear nothing. But if you go to YouTube, you can hear everything, and the audio is good, right? Is the sound in the show killing it? It's a little loud, right? No, like there's background noise, right? Of all these people walking.
A little bit, I think.
When you, I think what you need to do is when you're a sales guy, you have to have some conscious awareness to know where you stand in the evolution of relationships. I say to the boys, you need to know which customers sit on which level, and I break it down to social media groups for them, so they understand that the people on the telephone are your closest. That's your wife, by the way.
Yep.
Pick up the phone, your wife. And the WhatsApp and the text messaging second, you know, and the social media like Instagram and Facebook and email, which email is no better than those, are third and fourth and fifth tier.
Way down the line on personal.
So when they say they know somebody, and then by the way, the real top echelon of that relationship bridge is having dinner,
face to face,
having them at your house on the weekend. That's the
going away on vacations with them, becoming friends.
And as much as corporate North America wants to crush that relationship, I've had this conversation with somebody who I won't bring up because their corporation will fire them. The necessity to know your client intimately and the necessity for your client to know you intimately takes you from good to great.
Yes, it's a big difference. Huge difference.
Clients would call me on the weekend to get things done, not the call center.
I've had it for many years. You're right.
Right. When I said this person yesterday who we were talking to, I said the better part of me knowing if you're my client and if I know you personally enough that I can pick up the phone or call you at home. If I don't have a good, and this is going to sound bad, by the way, and this is the same what your kids do. If your kids don't trust you or they're having a problem with you and they do something really, really bad, they'll lie and hide.
Yeah, they won't come out and sit down with you and
go, okay, I'm pregnant, or I wrecked the car.
They'll wait. They'll wait as long as they can.
Right. So imagine this: that a job goes bad. I would much rather have a relationship with somebody where I can pick up the phone and go, I don't want you to yell at me, but this job's gone bad. The glass broke. The thing's going to leak. We bought the wrong material. I need help to get out of this. So for everybody in listening, for your kid, right?
Yep.
When your kid, you need to have an open door policy enough and go, I don't care what you tell me, I'm not going to yell at you.
Yeah, you can come here anytime and you'll be secure and safe, and I'll help you. We'll work through the problem.
But when you have those close relationships with your client, it does give you the opportunity so that you can have dialogue back and forth, because it's not when things are going well that matters. It's
when they go downhill.
That's shit.
When you either have to bail the customer out, your friend, or your friend, the vendor, has to be bailed out.
And I'll tell you, for all of us arrogant, egotistical property managers, this works two ways. And this is going back many years ago, I had a client call me who said, can you help me find a job? By the way, I get told about new jobs coming up every day.
Yeah, I bet you do. You know a lot of people.
And the show promotes people to come towards me and makes my social circle
people really like to talk on
a little longer. But they figure I know somebody who knows somebody. You know, you sit down with a Steve Eichelson or Dave from Cushman Wig. Like, you sit down with enough big people and people go, can you help me? Can you get me where I go? A guy about 10 years ago calls me up and says, can you help me? And I said, you can come to my office and use it whatever you want. I said, I'll help you, no problem. He said, thanks, I really appreciate it. And I said, you realize that the last 10 years, you wouldn't take my call and you wouldn't help me advance my business.
At all.
You wouldn't help me if I got in shit. You wouldn't take my phone call at 6 o'clock at night.
But now I'll help you, no problem.
I believe in turning the other cheek. I also believe in being self-aware that we all live in this world and it's pretty fucking small, and we all need to stop and reach out and grab somebody else's hand and help them when they've fallen.
Absolutely. Helping someone is a great thing.
And don't think you're that big and that great that you can't.
Oh, you better never ever think that. I have a young daughter who plays university soccer, great athlete, honor student. I never found out till this year that she's been going to the food bank for 3 years.
Your daughter?
My daughter, donating her time 2 to 3 times a week. It was a great feeling, and that kid's got everything. She's got everything. Nobody, yeah, great. Nobody on her soccer team knew. Nobody at her school knew.
How'd you find out?
On her last weekend, she invited her mom and I to go and help.
That's cute.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
It was beautiful.
Humbling, right?
It was very humbling.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah,
so
really
we did. We went and we helped, and that's how we found out how long she had been working there. She knew everybody. She knew all the.
What's your wife's name?
All the Lynn. Lynn.
How long have you been married for?
34 years coming up.
How many kids you got?
3.
What ages?
I got a boy 28, I got a girl 26, and a girl 21.
All living at home or all moved out?
No. They're all.
I love them, but
they've all got their own places. Yeah.
All close or all far away? Or
the little one's in North Bay.
the little one.
The little one's in North Bay. My middle daughter's downtown Toronto. We're just across the road, actually, at WSIB.
Okay, yeah. Scotia. Simcoe Place.
At Simcoe Place.
Simcoe
Yeah.
Place. Simcoe Place. Yeah.
And my son lives up near us, and he's taking a locksmithing course right now.
Is he really?
He just got a job in the field yesterday, actually.
Who's he working for?
He's working for
Craig's Lock. That's pretty big up our way.
No.
Craig's Lock.
He does those expanded grills. Oh, this is free advertisement for him. I can't believe I can't remember.
Come on, let's do it. This is your moment.
Yeah, this is it.
He's going to look like a rock star at his own company if you can remember the company.
I know, isn't that bad?
You can
think about it.
We don't have Goat TV today, so you can come back on the air whenever you want.
Let's see that. I'll look that up.
Do you find the pressure of work today the same as it was 10 years ago for you? I mean, because you've started a few new careers, a few new jobs. Each time you've started one,
it's tough when you start a new job. There is
especially
pressure.
in sales.
Yeah, there is pressure. Thank God, I actually respected all my customers. Either they were friends or they were acquaintances, but I always had great respect for my customers. Can do lock.
Can do lock.
That's it.
What's your son's name?
Tyler Beller.
Tyler Beller, Can Do Lock. That's a plug for sure.
Yeah, that's a great one. Thank you, Tim. There's a lot of pressure when you leave a company to go to another one. Perseverance is the most important. Having customers that really like you and actually understand, when you tell them what happened, they actually understand because you've been honest for the last 20 years, last 15 years, last 10 years. You've never lied to them ever. Like lying to somebody is just the wrong thing, especially as a salesperson. Yeah. You can lie once, but you won't lie again because you won't be doing any business with those people.
Yeah.
So I've been very fortunate that way, and I usually can take the strengths of the companies I'm going to work for on customers that they've already had and usually build those up. Apart from what the company's already done, when someone is in a small company, and most of these were small companies that I worked with, they start to let things lag and not follow through on them. They don't follow up with their number one customer. Like, it just seems hard to believe to me that people take things for granted so easily in this business.
Well, there definitely is an evolution, though, in entrepreneurship where you go from hunting and killing to cooking.
Absolutely.
and you forget to hunt.
Yeah. If you forget to hunt in this business, in sales,
and it
you're
dies,
done.
Right? Next thing you know, you realize you don't have anything to cook, and hunting is a skill, and you have to then go back and rehone those skills. And the problem is you're taking 2 steps backwards. That's why you have hunters, salespeople.
Yeah. You, as a salesperson, you can never lose that hunting instinct.
So, Byrne On Demand is a handyman general contracting company. I want to know what you thought when they moved into a new facility just outside of Toronto. I want to know what you thought of the people on the premises the day you walked in there.
I was very impressed with everything, actually. The building is nice. I like the fact that it's in Byrne myself. Everybody was set up and very professional. They were all very welcoming, and it was busy. It was a busy office. Like
Packed-
really
they're
busy.
packed in there.
There's lots of room though. It's comfortable.
Describe the decor. Tell people what it's like when you walk through the front door. What does it look like? What do you see?
It's barn board. Got some barn board on it. It's
pretty modern.
It's modern. It's very comfortable. It's very comfortable to go into. The colors are nice. I love the new front entrance.
The graphics.
The graphics
and stuff,
on the
right?
front
Yeah.
entrance. That's really nice.
Yeah, actually, Robin likes it because Robin works at night, or Robin works into the evening on the wintertime, and she likes it that nobody can see in.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I know
Yeah.
it sounds weird saying that, Barry. I don't think you have to lock your door in Barry. I mean, other than the vagrant that's going to come in and sleep in your house, you're not going to get robbed.
Probably not. It's where the office is. It's kind of
My boat.
secluded.
I live in Barry. My boathouse. Probably every third, fourth year, I have a homeless person
Sleeping in?
it.
Yeah.
And literally, we've caught them, and all they do is go, "I'm really sorry." Literally, they haven't touched a thing.
Yeah.
They've gone to the fridge. My boat is in the fridge in the living room, and
Most of them are
they're
never going to do damage.
curled up in the bed.
The squirrels will do more damage than the
Oh
homeless
yeah,
people.
yeah. I mean, unless they're, unless they're crackheads and they're.
Well, I'll tell you, that food bank that my daughter
Yeah,
had
right.
volunteered at, we serve them, their customers, you serve them their food. They all get up, they clean their plates off, nice and neat, put the dishes away, and then thank you very much for the meal. So much respect from the customers that are there to eat was just amazing. I was very impressed with the whole thing.
That shows me how much he really showed up.
Byrne on Demand did the cancer walk for. Actually, I'm lying. They did the women's walk, the women's shelter walk, the walk a mile in your shoes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so me and all the boys from Byrne on Demand wore these red high heels. I had some wicked blisters. They give out the high heels though, and they're all size 12s and 14s. And
Where'd they get those?
monster shoes? Just huge. I'm really excited that you're with Byrne on Demand. I think Byrne on Demand has with Catherine Byrne running it. I think it's got a shit pile of potential.
It's got huge potential.
I think it's got a ton of people that give a crap. I think Jody and Bob and the guys who run the crews in the field, those boys are 24-hour give a shit people.
Yeah, they're.
Kind.
I've done a couple of walkthroughs with them, and
They're the kind of guys you can hand the key to your house to,
and know it's going to be okay.
and you can leave, and they're going to lock it up, and they're going to take care of it for you, and you're not going to feel like you're worried about anything being misplaced or out of touch.
Absolutely, and the office staff, Sherry and Jacqueline and Richard, they care a lot, eh?
I tell you what I like about Byrne on Demand, boys. For everybody that's new there, who work in the field, you know Bob and Jody?
Yeah.
Bob and Jody, God bless their souls, they literally make a point of grading you and grading, not degrading. Grading you on your character and telling Kat or I what they think about the person, not in how they handle a screwdriver, but in who they are and how they behave, and whether they're worthy to wear the yellow shirt.
Yeah.
And they have no problem doing it because they take such pride in wearing that yellow shirt. They do not want anybody inflicting a negative
view on the company.
of them. And on them, on the company, on the brand.
Beautiful.
And they, I don't want to say they're tattletales, they're protective. I'm okay with tattletales, by the way, but they're protective, and they're protective of the brand and of their own pride.
Well, I know they care a lot for Kat and the business.
And they travel
like
all
huge.
over Ontario. I mean, they go to Ottawa, Montreal. They go down to
Nighttime
Windsor
for weeks, and
they go everywhere and anywhere for us, and they do it with a smile, and you never bitch and complain, and very little notice. And for their wives and girlfriends, and for Bob, your goldfish, they are all very patient about them taking off and going to do their thing. And thank you, boys.
Yeah, we do thank you very much. Thank you.
It's incredible. Megan.
Oh, there.
Jason. He says there's nothing left. He says there's nothing left in the house. Goodbye. We can catch Byrne on Demand at 647-948-8181. What's your cell number? Oh, your cell number.
My cell number is 416-771-2828. And my email is
say that slower.
416-771-2828. Sorry about that.
It's all right. I wouldn't have been. I'm dyslexic. I wouldn't have been all right. What's your email?
Email's dougb@burnondemand.ca.
The show ends today at noon or 1.
Noon. It ends at noon. Our cocktails start at 11:45, which I thought it was supposed to start at 1.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
Yeah.
Megan, stop touching my balls. Dougie, thank you so much for coming on the
Tim,
show. I
thanks
appreciate
very much
it.
for having me. I
Enjoy.
appreciate it.
Make sure you get rid of all those Byrne notepads. I don't want to take them back to the shop. This is Tim Byrne. Tim Byrne almost live. It is day 3 of PM Expo. Dylan, you're fired. Do the dance, Dylan. Do the dance. We're gonna turn the camera around, and you're all gonna do the dance.
Go for it, guys. Go for it.
Come on, Dylan. You can do it.
Here, wait.
We're gonna turn it around. Jason, Megan loves you, and she got rid of Robert. You're on Timber. Oh, there you go. Attaboy. That's Andy Rutledge right there.
Shake it, Andy.
Don't worry, the only people watching is my mother and my wife.
And my girlfriend.
That's
And
it.
his girlfriend.
And my girlfriend. Oh, no. I love you, Allie.
Okay, I'm going.
Do I keep going?
No, I'm going to turn it off.
You're going to turn it off? We're done?
Thank you,
God.
Alex.
You want me to leave it on the stream?
If you're going to take that outside and go up the aisle. And pan way, way out.
Well, that was way more comfortable than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's ask a lot of questions, be inquisitive.
That's good. I like it.
It's like the ultimate sales pitch, right? But it's live, which makes it really complicated because
I'm going to show my boy that today.
it's all going to be edited anyway. It'll be edited and redistributed in the next 3-4 weeks on a Wednesday night.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be all cut up. We're still Tim Byrne live. You're looking down the aisle of 1600. It's Friday at PM Expo. This is Tim Byrne almost live. Thank you, Byrne on Demand, handyman, general contractor. It's a little company, and it kicks ass. And if you're looking to have your little kitchenette done at your office or a little bathroom reno, or you need an emergency call in the middle of the night, the Byrne folks. My daughter Kat's a rock star at 647. Oh, I got to swallow coffee. 647-948-8181. And of course, Mike Wiggenden, the boys, Mr. Lamb, Connor, Cameron, I got to remember his name, John, Justin, Ray Herbert, Dennis. I don't know why I always call Ray Herbert. I think it's because my father was Ray. All of you guys and everybody at Stadia at 905-739-3939, 24-hour glass and door. You guys are rock stars. I thank you so much for allowing me to do this and having the GOAT here. And the GOAT was a big deal, and everybody was panicking about the GOAT, but the GOAT really drove a lot of traffic. Today, Kevin the GOAT is not here today. We're eating Kevin the GOAT this afternoon. It's a brisk. That camera's right on you, Megan. Say I love. Oh, sorry, Doug's head's in the way. Say I love you, Jason. What are you doing?
Sorry, that's really loud. I didn't know it was that loud.
That was rock star stuff right there.
You guys a heart attack.
You gave me a heart attack. I just tinkled in my pants. Thank God I'm wearing that diaper. That was Alex Byrne putting on a music interlude that almost blew apart the PM Expo. It's actually not that crowded down here. I thought it'd be full. I know that there's a lot of lunches and stuff this afternoon, and those lunches at noon and 1 for BOMA, Building Owners and Managers Association, the TCA, and the Real Estate Forum. I think we're all having a Christmas end of the year lunch, and I know that more people will travel through here between 11 o'clock. So if you're lying in your hotel room watching me right now or watching the aisle, that's way too loud. Watching the aisle, you can come on down to the show, hang out. I'm pretty sure Safe Tech environmental consulting experts are serving free alcohol all afternoon and will help you get over your hangover with a Caesar. I am Tim Byrne. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. This is our podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Google. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and of course YouTube Live for the whole week. And don't worry, you're not going to miss a thing because we're going to take all these shows. I'm going to take off my diaper. Me and Danny and Alex and the team are all going to edit them together and start spitting them out every Wednesday night so you can watch the videos and watch the listen to the audio in your car because I will be your drive home. Whether it's a GOAT at a trade show or whether it's sticking your hand out to say hi to somebody new, yeah, you got to remember, you got to stick your head above that foxhole if you all want to be a hero. T-ball? T-ball cards? McBeal. I love you, McBeal. You're my sweetie. I love my wife. She's my rock star. Pats me in the back when I need it. Make sure that I'm okay for tomorrow.
All right, hand out notepads. Everybody will let me go by. We're not taking anything back. Everybody who goes by, you're going to get notepads. I don't care. I don't care. First time I came here 2 years ago, I came up and had a suitcase with all of it, right? Yeah, and that dial come here every year. A lot of other people will totally moan it. That's what I call it. It's good. Time to eat. Take them, please. Going away gifts, not going home gifts. You gotta have yeah, so when you do producing auto reception in, right? The auto temp. So,
This one doesn't have the light.
hello out there.
No, it's over there.
Hello out there.
Dylan would like everybody to know that his phone number is 647-524-6324. Give Dylan a call for all of your needs. Everything.
Anything.
Call him all the time.
Just oil changes on the weekend.
He loves to talk.
Hi, I'm Tim Byrne. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. The microphone is out in the middle of the aisleway. Now that's Andy Rutledge's head that you see in the screen. And we are on YouTube Live. Here, Dylan, you can see whatever you want now. Sing.
Hello, people of the world. My name is Dylan. I'm the rep for everywhere outside of downtown. I'm with Tim Byrne. I'm with Alex Byrne. I'm with Andy Rutledge. And we're just having a grand time at the PM Expo, you heard?
That guy right there. This guy. Roman. That's Roman. Roman is bald. Bald. It's a long shot. I'm just doing commentary on people. This woman here needs to pluck her nose hair. That's a nose hair plucking job right there. This guy here go for a beard trim. That needs a beard trim. We're live on YouTube right now discussing your beard trimming. That's where you guys are Movember hardcore. Prostate's the size of a fucking golf ball. Full live. Get out of the shot, Al.
Hello to the world.
T-ball. Why are you handing those out? Hand out notepads. We're not taking anything home, boys and girls. Nothing home. Take nothing. We take no prisoners. Now I'm going to go urinate.
They're over on this side. Why, did we run out of stadium notepads already? These are all box and microphone.
Oh, so don't say anything bad about Mike Wigington.
We love your mic.
Yeah. I don't know what to say now.
You mean Mr. Wazowski?
Mr. Wazowski. What's that? Check me out already?
Mr. Wazowski, I'm watching you all the time.
Look at this guy.
We ate Kevin.
All the best.
Okay, wait. I think these ones are Stadia.
The rest of them.
That's Byrne. Dylan, I thought you organized.
I've seen them. I've seen them.
Thanks, man.
Just help the cause.
Are we out of stadium notepads?
No, I don't remember. I don't recall. Oh, so where's Andy? Yes, Andy, go for it, buddy.
Can you open up the boss box? Can you open Stadia?
Want to make it rain. Want to make it rain.
With the notepads?
With the notepads.
You do it in front of the camera, though.
Are they sticky ones or they just rip off?
Sticky.
The sticky ones are going to be stuck all on people's shoes and everything.
That's the purpose. That's why I want to do it.
Advertising.
Right? Top of the mind awareness.
Andy, I love you, dude. You're awesome. You know what, yeah. Andy's like a little flower girl with notepads.
Well, no.
It's actually four of us. kick me and you get the ball right across the back.
Hey, how's it going, Mike? Good to see you, man. I can't find the rest of the stadium.
Sorry for the cluster of people. This is a podcast for people in construction, property management.
I want to do it too. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Me and Alex are going for Here, give me some more. All right, come on. Give me a
Mr. Doug Macy.
What happened to the gold board? No gold. No gold. No, send me a souvlaki.
You want some goat?
I want some gold. Didn't you send me souvlaki? Clearly.
You guys ask me for that. Yeah, there is.
Yes, we are actually sponsoring a podcast, but two companies are sponsors. And Coast to Coast This is actually right here. National Park.
Can I scan your, and I will send you an email, not this week, Thanks, Martin. Have a good day.
You know what? Yesterday we had a goddamn Oh, he was in a cage. He was perfect. He had carrots all day. Oh yeah? You still use them? Well, this would be your salesman. Where are you?
Are you Tim Byrne? No. This the guy that does the podcast? And you can say hi to him. Thank you.
Andy Rutledge.
I got mini sticks.
You got mini sticks.
Yeah.
Are we gonna play?
We're gonna play.
All of the time.
What's this one for?
Instagram. The gram.
Is this the one that's broadcasting live?
Yeah. Yeah. No, for the people that couldn't make it to PMX. No, I'll steal one of Andy's. I told you I don't want my boyfriend to have them. He'll put them on the wall.
I just wondered who they were. What if I go off? It's a fun list. That's why you're good. Is this still on me? No. Oh. Does anyone have a kid?
Yeah, it's just a string.
I told the guy, the person won't bring out your eyes.
That's okay.
He wasn't happy with the other guy.
No, but it starts with that. It's all right. Let's see how long we can keep him here.
Security boys! I'm having a great time. I love the location. So, you're right beside an energetic, enthusiastic, loud guy. Are you getting all the key customers?
We had a goat here. We were like, because everybody was petting the goats, then we already had a goat. Now we lost our goat. And it's steady, right?
1982, I had started
You look so familiar.
this company was called North American.
North American.
Before it was A-Sharp, after North American it was called Security, I'd say Guard Suite.
Okay.
So we sold in 2008 the Guard division. It was enough. It was 30 years of Guard. So we also did everything else. We just stayed with
On the, you do it.
I only
You only do it.
I only touched one security.
Okay. But before that,
Yeah.
before that, you look familiar. I know it. There's security.ca.
I look like Ellie Cool.
I've run into you.
Friends, Ellie Cool. I know.
Goat kebabs. I'm putting trying to put the face
To the name? The wand ads are in all the post offices. If you can get into a post
We're on
office.
the air right now, just so you know.
We're on the air right
We're
now.
on YouTube right now, and
Right
Instagram,
now.
so be really careful.
Excellent.
You don't want to see anything really bad, 'cause that microphone picks up everything. It's we bought new mics, and they're really, really expensive, and they really take up every single thing all that aisleway. So when people say indiscriminate things about you, Dougie,
That's okay.
they all know.
I can live with that. And do you know why?
Why, Doug?
Because I'm in a good place.
You're in a good place.
Good place, man.
I'm in a good place today. Who's at your booth?
Michael Jacoby, who is working with me.
What's a Michael Jacoby?
Jacoby. He's a good guy. He's one of my key building blocks in growing my organization. Hi. Why are you there? What are you doing there?
What am I doing? I'm
I asked you
watching him
first.
and asking him what he's doing.
I don't know what he's saying. That's an extreme close-up. I'm supposed
Great
to have
lighting,
a
eh?
FM.
I look great in this lighting.
I'm making sure.
You look fabulous.
How's my profile?
And decorum is out the window. Hi, how are you?
I'm Doug Macy from Trust One
No, you're not.
Toilet Paper Corporation.
Where sphincters come first. You gonna try to do that again?
Nobody can hear crap.
You gotta figure out the microphone thing. Did our superhero from Best Buy figure out your microphone thing yet for you?
There are some great retail people out there, isn't there?
Yeah, you know, they live by a. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. We're down to PM Expo, third day. Doug Macy in the house.
Woohoo! What up?
Trust One Security, they got a booth at the end of the aisle, 1700.
NA.
In between 1700 and 1600, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Right at the end. We're opposite corners of each other. He came down here for a goat sandwich this morning, and it turned out there ain't no goat for Doug.
I brought the tzatziki,
Ain't
and
no
it's
goat
just
for
sitting there
Doug.
fermenting as we sit.
Ain't no goat for Doug.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Aaron, this is Alex. Alex, this is Aaron.
We've met literally every
I
day.
know.
Every day
I
you
know.
introduce
I'm just being funny.
It's great.
Uh-huh.
meeting the same person over.
Can you hear all right? Can you hear everything all right?
I can hear everything all right.
Any distortion
No.
in your voice or mine?
No, I can hear my voice, though, which is very discerning.
No, we need to hear it because I find when you don't wear them down here, it actually makes it very, very difficult to stay on the conversation.
Of course, because of the distractions.
The noise around actually stops the conversation from happening. I don't know if you understand that. I tried to do one interview without the headsets, and it doesn't work the same when you don't have them on.
Well, and everyone's been asking how you've been able to concentrate. I was like, I can't hear anything else.
Yeah.
Sorry, was Alex saying something there? All I saw was hand gestures, and I wasn't sure what she was saying. Yeah.
Trust One Fornication, brought to you by. That was so old, man.
I tell you, she is so mean. She told me to shut up, Doug. 2 days ago.
That was wickedly old, man. That what you just did right there.
I couldn't even get my elbows together because my jacket is too tight.
Can you lick your elbows?
At the moment, no.
All right, Aaron. Macy's gonna lick his elbow.
Oh.
We have an elbow licker in the house.
Did you dislocate your shoulder?
Well, I got something on my face. Can you see that?
Aaron, stick out your tongue and lick your eyebrows.
Is it bad?
Skunk?
Skunk.
What are we doing?
I have a zit. You have a sight?
We need somebody with facial cleaning appliances for Tim's really, really big nostril.
I have a huge nose.
Really? Why is that?
It's funny, people say it was my dad. It's not. When you see a picture of me and my grandmother side by side.
She was, you're going to defame your grandmother with a big nostril joke?
My grandmother.
Your late grandmother.
She just passed away this summer.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
She passed away.
I still think of my grandparents, you know?
October she passed away? Just before Thanksgiving? She was 96-ish, 7-ish?
Mm-hmm.
She was a rock star lady. She had 6 husbands.
Ooh, hey.
Oh no, she was quite the player. But she was in World War II. She was a balloon brigade anti-aircraft on the shores of the English Channel.
That's amazing.
So how they used to run, because the British were running. Oh fuck!
I didn't spill. Don't worry.
The British Empire was running out of equipment.
Sure.
This is before the Americans showed up. Americans were last. Sorry, boys and the girls down in the United States who are listening to me right now. You guys were the last show up to the party.
It's called History.
And my grandmother.
By Tim.
My grandmother continually slagged the United States for leaving France and England to die by Hitler. And they literally showed up because they could not, they showed up because between the Germans and the and the British, everybody was putting embargoes on everything crossing the Channel and going across the Atlantic pond, and they couldn't bring merchants anymore. And the only reason the U.S. really stepped up to the plate is because between Pearl Harbor and transport of goods and trade had stopped in Europe and Asia. So the Americans decided to step up and say, okay, we're going to help you.
Can you imagine if Japan never bombed Pearl Harbor, what Europe would look like today? Because the United States jumped in because
Winston Churchill and the British would have did the job anyway. Either way, they would have.
He is the ultimate motivator, isn't he?
We will never give up. We will never surrender. My grandmother listened to that on the radio.
Live.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. So she, because they were out of military, and we're going to talk about work in the show in a minute, but because they were out of
Take your time.
Military.
I'm here all day.
Well, you're here till noon anyway.
I know. Shit, man. That's all good.
They drove the Jeeps, the military Jeeps out onto the beach with cables, steel cables off them, and ran between the Jeeps hot air balloons at 3,000 to 6,000 feet. Steel cable to steel cable to steel cable. And they'd go out at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, raise them up into the darkness because the fighters at the time wouldn't fly until sun. So as soon as the sunrise touched, you hear coming over the. My grandmother would make the noise like it was. You would lie in the dirt at 4 in the morning after you got the balloons up. And she said as soon as the sun started coming, you hear.
And at 3 to 6,000, you're hoping the balloons capture the planes.
They want the planes would fly in between the 3 to 4,000. They wouldn't see them because they put the balloons up in the sky and it ripped the wings off the bombers.
Beautiful.
Then they were told, because there was no food rations left in England, they were told if you saw the parachutes come down, kill them now. So my grandmother was a sergeant, ran a platoon of 4 with 2 other sergeants because they had 4 jeeps, up to a major or up to a captain, and they would put the balloons up, bury the jeeps, 3/4 in dirt. Why? The jet fuel. The fuel would come down on fire because the bladders for the fuel were in the wings.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd splash on the motors. The motors were exposed. They blow up, and the fuel would rain down on the jeeps. My grandmother I have a photo of my grandmother standing beside a charcoal jeep. And they would bury underneath the jeep like turtles giving birth to eggs. Like they'd bury under the jeeps. As soon as they heard it, she said, we all be smoking, she said. We hear the, and they climb underneath, bury, and wait.
And hope to God that they didn't get burning gas falling on them as individuals.
And then she said we'd hear it. It would be a flash of light because the flames would be pounding all over the water in the beach.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as it'd go out instantly, she said. And as soon as it went dark again, we'd hop out. I'd pull my pistol at arms and wait until I saw the parachute. And then sniper killed him.
She must have been a great shot too.
She said it was the most terrifying thing she's ever done in her life. Yeah, look at you. Right?
Look at that. That's really nice.
It was the most
Love that.
It was the most terrifying thing she ever did in her life. And she told me that the day she was late getting her troops out, she missed a run of German bombers. And the school, and she said the British were very protective of all their munitions, right? Their ammunition. And they set up an ammunition dump beside a grade school. And the Germans didn't care anymore. They just wanted to kill all the ammunition, right? And by the way, Geneva Convention said stay away from kids, la 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 la.
Yep.
The Germans, not only did my grandmother miss them, they made it in, killed all the kids at the school, and blew up the ammunition up beside them. Because they couldn't afford to court-martial my grandmother for being late, they just demoted her and put her back as a private. Because she took all her troops out the day before when they had to kill a whole bunch of German soldiers, and she said it was a mess. Like, we really thought we were all going to die. All her troops that night, after they finished doing this, all got hammered, got drunk, and she was late the next day, and all those kids got killed.
Yep.
And she said it was a turning point. Like
in her life, I'm sure.
As far as she was concerned, they weren't going to win at that moment when she saw those kids getting slaughtered. She said we were all going to die. She said it was the worst thing that ever happened to her in her life, was watching those bombers make it past her while she was trying to raise up the balloons as fast as possible. Weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awful.
Terrible memories.
We don't have those, eh?
We have a generation that doesn't know
I think we have
these
a couple
kind of
now,
challenges.
right?
Absolutely.
There's not many people left from World War I or II. I don't think there's anybody left from World War I. Is there?
1918, 2018,
No
likely if they were in their 20s, they're few and far between if they're alive. We do have people from the Second World War. We do have Holocaust survivors walking around still. Not too many of those guys are still around. We've got people who've known war, but I think our generations have been, you and I don't know from war in North America, and all of our kids don't know from these kind of challenges of economic, significant people starving and dying economic downturn. We don't have the Great Depression. We have nobody from there.
Do you think there'll ever be a war again?
There's always.
Now, let me rephrase that. Do you think there'll ever be a world war again where millions and millions and millions and millions of people die? 4% of the world's population died in World War II. 4% of the world's population died.
Yeah.
That's a big war.
It is. I think that there's enough indicators out there that suggest that there's always going to be conflicts, and I don't believe that we're getting any closer to a peaceful existence. I think there's too many wild cards out there that are taking advantage of the system, influencing the system.
Do you think Stephen Hawkins was right when he said the world's going to end in about 80 years? We're going to have a major calamity, and basically our resources are going to foreclose on ourselves because the world population is going to overwhelm the resources available to us?
Well, you're clearly reading things that I'm not. And I'm so glad that you're reading really, really dark shit, man. I'm just trying to read things like, how do I get my business to another level so I can afford to hire more people?
I'm
not a subject matter expert on it, but I will tell you, I try very hard to do green things on a regular basis. So I drive a hybrid car. I'm not going to stop driving because I have to practice management by walking around. I have to practice sales by walking around. That's what I got to do. But I know I've got to be conscious of it. Hey, I love the fact that the prices of gas are so cheap. That's good.
We're down at PM Expo. Doug Macy from Trust One Security. Hi, and thank you for coming on the show. It's Tim Byrne, Almost Live, and Dougie was one of the first guys that came on the show 10 months ago when nobody wanted to come on the show. And now it's funny, the staff have been handed 6 cards from 6 different companies that are in the floor that all said, can I go on the show? Which podcasting is not a new thing, but boy, it's new in our industry.
Absolutely.
Do you know that PRSM, the Prism, which is the retail group, they started their own podcast 2 months ago.
I hope they have somebody who is as charming and elegant and capable of engaging.
Brutally boring.
I guess they don't.
It's like Anthony Vinzi should be doing their show. It's paint chips. I'm telling you, that's what I call Anthony, paint chips. The problem is that when you're dealing with an association with the podcast, and this is actually why they probably should hire an outside media source to do it, you do lose the edginess because you are trying to be so politically correct,
right,
that you lose the ability to entertain.
And it's unfortunate.
And you have to survive.
But it's not fortunate. You got to understand that the guy stepping up into the association doesn't want to be a wild card. Very few people will happily step out on the limb the way you do. And I am such a huge fan. No, you know what they're talking about at this trade show?
What are they talking about at this
trade
show?
The goat. Next year at this trade show.
Did you hear about the goat up there?
No, what? There's another goat?
Just you.
Touche. Okay, that's me licking my finger and going up.
When you're up at your booth, the other end.
Everybody's talking about the goat. Everybody's talking about the goat. Next year at this trade show, there's going to be more livestock than anybody knows what to do with. There's petting dogs and livestock, and I got to decide whether or not I want to be right beside you, like my competition, or the guys.
We should have done that. It would have been so much fun.
Or I want to be right by.
Because you and I are super good salespeople, know how to interact with people and make relationships quickly. And if you and I were beside each other, it would actually be advantageous for both our businesses, all of our businesses.
Well, we should coordinate because I'm definitely buying in next year. I've already made the decision. I like who I met today. I like the engagements and the friendly aptitude. And I'm growing my business. I have to continue to invest and pave the way in marketing.
This is your first show as Trust One?
Correct.
You've done the show before, though?
Correct.
And you did this show before working in another business with family.
Correct.
Can I ask, was there a psychological difference being here for yourself as Trust One in comparison to being here with your family and working for a firm?
So I was here under
psychological difference.
I was here under 3 different banners.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yes. When I returned back to work with my brother in 2002, we came out and were on the booth, and that was something else. And in the period of time between the time I sold my shares to my brother and then went out in the market and did IT, I worked for a company that was here, and it was definitely a psychological difference from working with big corporation and the necessity to make money. This is definitely, because it's my company and I've got everything on the risk and it's coming out of this pocket, absolutely.
You find you have to, on a psychological level, and you and I are part of the same entrepreneurial club. You almost, you're right. So you're selling because it's you're feeding your family not from your T4 slip anymore. You're feeding your family from the Trust One bank account, which is a totally different dynamic. And I find that as an entrepreneur, especially in my first few years at Stadia Door and Glass, was that I had to curb my enthusiasm. Sorry, I had to curb my starvation and not let people see that I was starving.
Well, I'm not starving, Tim. I want to be clear.
Shit, I got to tell you, my first 5 years in business, we all made paychecks, but
You didn't.
Right, you
Right.
did because you're reinvesting it back into the wheel, and you're unsure that the business will be back tomorrow. And I think probably one of the biggest things you'll learn as an entrepreneur is that it isn't guaranteed. And by the way, when you've been on your own and you're an entrepreneur, going back to the workforce, say, oh, I just get a job tomorrow, it doesn't work like that because your resume is now scarred with entrepreneurship, and employers are fearful that you're not going to stick it out or you're only there to take until you recover.
Or the manager saying, well, you know more about business than I do. You scared the hell out of me. So at the end of the day...
You're at a point of no return.
Right? Absolutely, I've always been that way. But most importantly, Tim, you come to the trade show, you say you want to buy into it, but you got to remember the most important thing, that guy out there wants value. He wants to make sure that you can give him value. So as long as you can get the messaging. So we spent months thinking about what is it that we do different than my competition. And by the way, I'm beside a major national player. I'm beside a large regional player. The major national player wants to be everything to everybody. The large player over there says he's complete security. The guy behind me sells everything off the shelf that anybody ever wants. And I'm sorry, I'm only interested in cameras, card access systems, alarm monitoring, and solving my clients' challenges. That's it. So if I can deliver that value and they hear it, they don't want to go to anybody else. They just want customer service.
Now, you use the word value, though, and you're not using the word cheap. And by the way, I think a lot of people misconstrued the Webster's definition of value and then cheap. And I think people think that's an thesaurus, and they can convert the two definitions back and forth to each other. Good value does not mean you're cheap. Cheap does not mean you're a good value.
Right.
Right? Do you know the only competitive differential I have to everybody else in the marketplace? The only one. You're going to like this too. And it's pretty simple. And I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to explain how I took it to the next level. I answer my phone. In today's marketplace with Instagram, YouTube, text messaging, WhatsApp, email, the novelty of answering your phone, ironically 911, so just you look at essential services, 911 does not let you text an emergency. I want to be the 911 of my business. I want that live interaction. We're putting back in, which I really hate that I'm doing this, and we're only going to do it for 6 months and see how it goes. We're putting back in an automated receptionist at Byrne On Demand and Stadium. Because of the influx of phone calls, and we need to make sure that we stay competitive financially. And I don't want to hire a receptionist. When you press zero,
and also you have a diverse. Your offices are all over the place, so you got to make sure the call tree gets to the right person. Succinct messaging, though. Succinct messaging is lost on people.
It's my voice doing the automated attendant, not somebody else's.
Work the script.
Work the script, and this is what you're going to like. You know, you can press 1 for sales, 2 for service, right? You press 0, guess who you get? Not you, you idiot.
That would be one of his salespeople walking around in this stylish salmon-colored jacket.
I own that same jacket.
That's a fabulous jacket.
That's 4 Men United. Do you know how much that jacket's worth?
Sorry, pardon me for a second. Are you saying that that's a big jacket, or are you saying it's the brand 4 Men United?
4 Men United.
Okay, good.
Store
I just want to make sure.
in North Toronto, in Steeles, just outside of Woodbridge. You'd like it a lot.
He's rocking that jacket. Are you taking a phone call?
I'm taking a phone call.
He's taking a phone call. And this is now your musical interlude, Volare.
Hey, how are you, David?
And that's at the end of the musical interlude.
We're going, hang on a second. We're going off the air for 2 seconds.
Bye-bye, fans.
Talk by yourself.
No, it's okay. I don't.
You all right?
Don't need to. But we're going off air, so we're going to take a time out.